Hi, I'm Cosmic Scowl, the developer behind the PSBBN Definitive Project, and here's everything that's new with PSBBN. On the PSBBN Definitive Project's main menu, you will now see a new Update Available notification. This informs you when there's a software update waiting to be installed. The new Update PS2 System Software option updates the system software for both PSBBN and HOSDMenu users. So first, let's update the software. OSDMenu has been updated to version 1.2 and has a number of cool new features. Before we look at those, let's rerun the game installer as it now installs the all-new OSDMenu Configurator app. With the drive connected back to your PS2 console, in the game collection you will find the new HOSDMenu Configurator. It can also be launched from HOSDMenu and the browser. This app lets you jump in and tweak loads of settings to customise your PS2 console. For example, some users weren't a big fan of the OSD Sys custom menu and would prefer something that looked more stock. You can now change that setting in the configurator. Select HOSDMenu, then OSDMenu.cnf. Go down to the OSD custom menu options and set the custom menu to off. Then press the start button to save the settings. You now have that classic OSD menu. You can now easily add applications to launch keys, allowing you to boot directly into any app you want at startup. Let's set OPL to the square button. Select OSDMenu MBR, then OSDMBR.cnf. To assign an app to the square button, scroll down to Boot Square. Press cross to select an app. OPL can be found on APA formatted HDD. Under System, Launcher. Select the OPL file. Press circle to go back and start to save the settings. When you turn on your console, hold the square button and OPL will launch. If you've got a PSBBN and HOSDMenu install, you might want to launch HOSDMenu at startup instead of PSBBN. Select OSDMenu MBR, then OSDMBR.cnf, select Boot Auto, press cross to edit the setting and select Browser 2.0/HOSDMenu. You should also scroll down and turn Prefer BBN off. Press start to save the settings. When you power on your console, it will now boot directly into HOSDMenu. If you've been missing the classic PlayStation 2 logo when launching physical games, you can now bring it back. Originally, I disabled it to help Megaphone users launch imports and master discs, and to prevent the corrupted logo that could sometimes appear when doing so. Thanks to advances in OSDMenu, it can now be safely enabled even for Megaphone users. No more corrupted logos or games refusing to launch. Just insert the disc to play. To enable the PS2 logo in PSBBN, select OSDMenu MBR, then OSDMBR.cnf, go down to Skip PS2 logo and turn it off. To enable the PS2 logo in HOSDMenu, select HOSDMenu, then OSDMenu.cnf. Go down to Disk and Application Launch Modifiers, then turn Skip PS2 logo off. For fresh installs of PSBBN and HOSDMenu, the PS2 logo is now enabled by default. In the optional extras menu, there are now some additional options. Previously, in PSBBN system settings, the screen was locked to 4:3 and could not be changed. This setting can now be changed with the Change Screen Settings option in the extras menu. Also new to the extras menu is the option to clear the art and icon cache on your PC. If you clear the cache, the next time you run the game installer, all art and icons will be re-downloaded from their online databases. You might want to clear the cache if a game displays incorrect or low quality artwork, as artwork is being regularly corrected and improved. And that brings me to the major new feature of this update. Ever since the introduction of the music installer, I've been receiving requests for a movie installer, and it's finally here. Before I show it in action, I want to talk about what went into building it. PSBBN video downloads come in PSM containers. Luckily, I had a couple of the original files from the Hudson channel, which I was able to study and reverse engineer. Inside a PSM file is a PSS video stream, the same format used in many PS2 FMV sequences. Also a thumbnail as a TM2 texture, which is a standard PS2 texture format, along with some metadata. The first challenge was to create the PSS video. Starting with a source video, the video is encoded to MPEG-2, the audio has to be encoded as PCM and saved as a WAV file, then converted to an ADS audio file. These files are then combined in a process known as muxing into a single PSS file. Next, a frame from near the beginning of the video is saved as a PNG to use as a thumbnail. Then came the next challenge, creating a TM2 texture. Although there are tools available for modifying existing textures, mainly aimed at editing game assets, I couldn't find any homebrew projects that could create textures from scratch with custom colour palettes, nor any Linux-friendly tools that could be easily scripted. So I built my own. I wrote a Python script that can convert a standard image into a PSBBN compatible TM2 texture. With both the PSS video and TM2 texture ready, we can now generate the PSM file, also with a Python script. Finally, PSBBN's SQL database is updated to make the new video appear in the movie channel. I've released a standalone TM2 toolkit on GitHub as it could be useful to the wider homebrew community. I'll also be releasing a standalone PSM toolkit in the near future. With that all said, let's take a look at the movie installer in action. Place the video files in the movie folder on your PC. Here I've ripped series 4 of everyone's favourite sci-fi comedy, Red Dwarf, from one of my DVDs. Your videos can be M4V, MKV, VOB and many other common formats. From the main menu, select Install Media. On the Media menu, you can change the location of your media folder with option 4 if you wish. Select option 2 to install movies. You'll be presented with a splash screen and information about the movie installer, including the location of your movie folder. Just press any key, sit back and wait for the videos to be converted and installed. On the PS2 console, go to the movie channel and you will now find a new folder called Your Movies. In this folder will be all the movies you installed. Every movie has a thumbnail. Just select a movie and it will play. You can add movies to your favourites, which acts as a playlist. You can also create new folders and organise your movies. The last new feature is the photo installer. Thankfully, that was a lot easier to create than the movie installer. Place your image files in the photo folder on your PC. They can be JPEG, PNG, TIFF, GIF, BMP and many other common formats. Select option 3 from the Install Media menu to install photos. As with the movie installer, you'll be presented with a splash screen and information about the photo installer, including the location of your photo folder. Just press any key to install your photos. On the PS2 console, go to the Photo channel and you'll find a new folder called Your Photos. In this folder will be all the photos you installed. Just like the movie channel, you can add photos to your favourites. You can also create new albums and organise your photos. In online channel news, on PSBBN.ru, Vitas has added a widget that displays visitor statistics for the online channels. It shows how many people have visited each channel, highlights the top countries, and reveals the number of visitors per country when you hover over the flags. You can also switch between weekly, monthly and yearly statistics. On this forum, you can also find information about the online channels and report any bugs. The online channels are continuously being updated by Vitas, with additional channels being added to the PSBBN Definitive Project soon. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone who has contributed to this project. In my last video, I explained all the ways you can help, and boy did you help. We now have a number of new community translations for PSBBN. In addition to English, German and the original Japanese, we now have Italian, Portuguese and Spanish, with French coming very soon. You've also helped by submitting missing artwork to the PSBBN art database, filling in those gaps in the PSBBN game collection. You've been creating missing icons with the HDD-OSD icon generator. Now more games have custom icons in the browser. A number of people have contributed hard drive dumps from original PSBBN installs. With these dumps, we were able to recover additional files for the Konami channel, as well as files from the game Nabanoga's Ambition Online. Thanks to all the translators, and to everyone who has contributed artwork, icons and dumps. And a special thanks to everyone who has supported this project by making contributions to my Ko-fi. If you would like to help this project, you'll find all the links you need in the description. And if you appreciate the work I'm putting into this project and would like to show your support, you can contribute to my Ko-fi. You'll find a link to my Ko-fi in the description and the pinned comment. You can find the full release notes for this update on the GitHub page, along with an updated README. If you want to keep up to date with the latest developments, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky or Ko-fi. As always, all links will be in the description. But for now, this is Cosmic Scout signing out.